Hey everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Film Freaks
Yay.
TV. We haven't done this in like a couple months or something, so we're back. And I'm here. I'm Jonathan Moody. I'm the host of this episode. I'm with
Paul Presenza, otherwise known as the Moo Cow. Moo.
We're also with
Joe Turek.
Joe. Joe's been here since the first Film Freaks we ever did for the Fog.
I was at episode 1.1.
Yeah, so welcome back, Joe. We're very happy to have you.
A number of others throughout the years.
Yeah, you've been through. I think you're the one who's been here the most on this one.
And finally getting a decent film instead of a stinker.
I know, right? Well, in this chain of movies, it's always good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be.
At least for me, it's
supposed to be, right? Or whatever we think
they're
is.
movies that we love. That was
Yeah.
the tagline.
Yeah.
So not necessarily always the best, but they tend to be.
Yeah, they're movies we love. Like, I love Star Wars. Paul isn't a big fan of Star Wars, so,
It's okay.
he
Paul's
didn't do that episode.
It's not a bad movie. It's
Paul's just wrong, but that's okay.
Well, today we're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking about an older movie from 1957. It's a black and white film called Witness for the Prosecution. And I had bought this movie from Kino Lorber, not knowing anything about it except that a lot of people praised it. And I said, okay, I'll give it a shot, blind buy. And I freaking loved it. The first second I saw it. And this would be my second time watching it. But I remember the first time I watched it, my jaw dropped. I was like, wow, this is how you do a court movie. And I love my court movies. I love my court stuff. So I love Law and Order, and everything
Yes,
like
we know that, huh?
Yeah. So this is, this is a court drama, but it's really well done. And Joe has never seen it. Paul's seen it, but it's been a while. And I saw it somewhat recently, so
I think I saw it on
year.
Turner Classic Films a long time ago.
What's funny is I probably did see it when I was like maybe less than 10 years old or something like that, but it was like my dad watched a lot of those type of movies, but I don't recall it, so it's new to me.
I just realized this is our second Billy Wilder movie in the same season. Whoops. I did not mean to do that.
That's all right.
Well, as soon as you said you were debating if I was going to come on this or not, and I saw Billy Wilder, I was like, sure.
That doesn't matter.
It was the long the Lost Weekend.
Oh, Lost Weekend,
the one we did. So this is a different movie than The Lost Weekend, and I think this is a better movie than The Lost Weekend, honestly. I do like a lot Lost Weekend, but this is definitely better. So buckle up, have fun, enjoy yourself, and we'll be back and talking about Witness for the Prosecution.
Bye.
And we are back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to an exciting conclusion to our show.
I'm drinking my cocoa.
I got my cherry Coke. I don't have any cocoa.
Any brandy in it?
No.
No.
We're not smoking our cigars or
Injecting calcium?
injecting calcium.
That's weird.
Oh, man. So this is fun. For some reason, because I watched Witness for the Prosecution and Anatomy of a Murder, both kind of close to similar, so I kind of got both of them mixed up. So that's why I thought, Jimmy Stewart was in this one as Tyrone Power. He did a great job, except there was a lot of overacting in this movie. A lot more than a normal, Billy Wilder movie.
It's a little melodramatic.
But this is your first time watching it. What'd you think, Joe?
I think I can dismiss a couple of the things that we're going to talk about that you guys are going to talk about a little bit. I can dismiss some of that. There's some stuff at the end that kind of rubs me a little bit. It's one of those, I got to let it sit on me for a little bit, but it's like how it twists and turns and
I like the
and stuff
twists
like
and
that.
turns.
I like it to a point, but sometimes when you do twist and turn, it kind of undermines where it's all been. So it's like you see the motivations of these different characters and how they've come across as not true. to what was really going on. And I think second and third viewings of this could play out one way or the other a little bit more. But in general, I love the banter, if you will, that they had going on there.
That's my favorite stuff.
That's pure Wilder there, and he has the comedy too. So I mean, I say comedy in the sense of just elements of it here and there. But I mean, I really enjoyed it.
I'd say most of it is the comedy.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of comedy in it, but it's not a comedy.
No.
You know, it's a courtroom drama.
See, that's the problem I have is that the drama is weak, in my opinion. It's really more for the comedy. It's the whole thing with the nurse back and forth and.
Well, at first you didn't like that. I don't think. Like it felt like you hated the way he acted in the beginning.
I did.
You were the one like saying, "Ugh," you know, right?
See, I really dug it. So.
I did too. I laughed a few times because he was the typical Charles Laughton. I thought like he kind of played his normal like curmudgeon self, and I like that kind of.
Yeah, there was some stuff that was definitely a product of its time that you really can't do now.
Yeah, or nor like as you point out, because I pointed that out, and you said, nor should you. You know, and
some of it's the way that they treat women or treat other people, but some of it's also I think as film watchers now, we're watching this almost 70 years later than when it was made.
Yeah.
So it's really different, and we've had movies where this stuff's done, and it's done and done and done, but this is supposedly one of the originals and high marks historically for this, but. Yeah, it's just...
Well, generations change, and stuff that they got away with in the Boomer era is not what can be dealt with these days.
Yeah.
You know?
This was a United Artists production.
Blaming the woman for the way she dressed, making the men grow wild, and that she deserves
that was
it.
awful.
You can't get away with that, nor should you have back then. But that was typical for its period.
And some of it obviously was overacted. I mean, it's just it's one of those that I'm going to be interested to know. And maybe in a few months I should probably watch it a second time and see if it really holds up.
It wasn't cringeworthy. Like if I see a James Cagney film and he's just overacting to the fucking
James Cagney hate
because he's terrible. He's a terrible, terrible actor.
Well, I think we should that gets to a whole different discussion of at that time he wasn't, because that was the acting style of that time.
Yeah.
So if you compare today to then, and it's like if you compare, if it was possible to flip this almost and have like the old people watch the present day stuff. Obviously time travel or something, have it the other way around. And Cagney or somebody of them was watching some of the stuff nowadays, they'd probably be like, "What the hell is this? What the hell is this shit?"
I would love to see 30-year-old Cagney looking at 30-year-old Tom Holland.
Yeah,
or whatever.
He was like, to me, he was like the Tom Cruise of his time. You know, he's just
Hey,
very short.
You need to get in,
pretending to be really tough and everything. And
yeah,
he's always like slapping somebody, and they just take it, and nobody fucking punches his ass because he's James Cagney, so he can get away with it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I never bought a single character that he ever did. He's just lousy, in my opinion.
The world, Ma, right?
Yeah, right. Anyway, to me, it's not that level of ridiculousness, but there is definitely some overacting. But you're right. It's a relic of its time. Mm-hmm. You know?
No, I don't know. When I first watched this movie, it was like, I remember it being around Christmas time, and it wasn't a last Christmas. I think it was the Christmas before then. My mom had passed away that year, and I was looking for something to watch, and I bought this, through like the Kino sale or whatever at Barnes and Noble, because they had a bunch, and they had this, and I was like, oh, I never, right? Like, I don't know much about this. All right, let me check this out. So I bought it, and I was not sure whether or not how I was going to feel, but I did like Charles Laughton. I do like courtroom movies, and stuff. They're a lot of fun. I like to see what trips people up, in the court. What makes people, because, like we were saying before, like My Cousin Vinny, which you say is a much better film, in your opinion, and did it better. They had, like, moments where they're like, oh, can you see? You know, do you need glass? You know, do you need thicker glasses? And so they bring it up and do
Aren't
that.
these magic grits?
Yeah, those kind of things. And in this movie, they have that lady with the hearing aid, and
Yeah, well, she went like this, and it was just like I was like, well,
Constantly, yeah.
so she couldn't really hear too well. So everything that she says she could hear or whatever was not, should not have been admissible in the court.
Yeah, it's just like, the prosecution had three things, all of which were terrible. I mean, they had no witness, no real witness, no, what do you call it?
Well, they had her flipping, I guess.
Yeah. No, usually what you have to get conviction is either a confession, which they didn't have, or overwhelming physical evidence. They didn't have any physical evidence whatsoever. All they had was a little bit of circumstantial evidence, three main things, all of which were terrible. They had the cop who was like, oh, well, we found the blood type. And I'm like, did you bother to check if it was the same type? And then he never did. And, of course, so it was the same. So that got blown out of the water. Then we had the lady who had the Scottish maid who, A, had something against the guy because she thought he was lousy because she wasn't going to get any money. And then it turns out she can't hear, so she's an unreliable witness. And then finally, the only witness they had was the woman who's already admitted that she's lied constantly, so...
Put herself in perjury.
Yeah, this wouldn't have been laughed at. No, this would never have gone to trial. Never.
Never even got... Yeah, I don't think it would have gone even to trial. But, yeah, that's the thing, because I think... a lot of films or whatever will do this where they will make it sort of an easy thing, or whatever, because the problem is you put too many things, you're all of a sudden this person's, like you have to do like a magical, thing to get them out, right? And everything. But in this case, this looks like, honestly, if you looked at it from the perspective of how we're looking at it, it's funny because it almost feels like you're looking at it going saying Charles Lawton has never, because that was the whole thing. He's never failed, right? He's never messed up at all. Like, he's always won his cases, right?
I guess.
He's undefeated.
Is that what they said?
I think so in the beginning of the movie.
Well, he was highly regarded.
He was highly regarded.
I thought he had never lost a case. That was the whole idea. That was why they went with
I don't know about that.
I think so. Let me read what it says at the back of the box for you guys. So, Screen Legends Tyrone Power from the Marcus Zorro, Marlene Dietrich, the Blue Angel, and Charles Lawton, the Suspect. That's a movie. Starred in a splendidly entertaining courtroom classic about a man on trial for a wealthy widow's murder after he suspiciously profits from her will. His only hope for acquittal is his wife's testimony, but his airtight alibi shatters when she reveals some shocking secrets of her own. In order to maximize the film's efforts among its audience, producers kept the set carefully guarded to prevent its crucial plot twist from leaking to the public. Directed by the brilliant Billy Wilder, Stalag 17, Some Like It Hot, The Apartment. Scripted by Wilder and Harry Kurnitz, A Shot in the Dark, and based on the hit London play by mystery master Agatha Christie.
Yeah, to me, this felt more Agatha Christie than Billy Wilder.
Orient Express, Death on the Nile. This thunderbolt of a film crackles with emotional electricity, says the New York Times, and continues to keep movie lovers riveted until the final mesmerizing frame. Boasted 6 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Director Lawton, Actor Lawton, Supporting Actress Ella Lanchester, who's also in Bride of Frankenstein, which I'm gonna guess was the
maid.
Yeah, the nurse.
The nurse.
Oh,
yeah,
the nurse.
The nurse
Okay,
lady.
Nurse Plimsoll.
I'm gonna guess it was the nurse. That she was one of my favorite characters because she was wonderful.
So it got Oscar nominations. No?
Got 6.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
It didn't win, but
I'm
it
not
got
surprised.
6.
Yeah, well, to me, it had Agatha Christie. I feel that It also has a Hitchcock feel to it too. A bit.
I could
feel
see
Hitchcockian elements to it.
I could see
More
him
Agatha
asking
Christie,
to be
but yeah.
directing something like this, but he would have done it. I think he would
have been better.
He would have been better.
Yeah.
Well, he would have done totally different. He would have had to tone down the humor probably.
No,
Well, I think it would have been toned down in a different way. I mean,
I think he would have loved the humor in it
because this was more biting, like in a wilder comedic way. I think he would have probably hinged more on the suspense.
I think he would have covered up some of the glaringly obvious holes that were.
I think he would have asked, why isn't there any evidence? Like, and how can we make that work?
And I hate to say it, but I kept thinking Ed Wood and in this film. And I kept thinking that scene where he's like, Inspector Clay is dead and someone's responsible. And I'm like, then who killed the old lady if it wasn't them? Somebody has to bring that question up, and nobody does, which is nuts. I mean, you understand why Vold doesn't, because obviously he's guilty. But the other people who are supposedly interested in justice, if it's not him, then who?
I mean,
I think they just sort of made it like he was. I took it that he was generally assumed that they had the evidence and all, and that he was guilty. It wasn't just circumstantial. That's the way I took it.
Okay, let's look at the case, and as we know it from everything that they've told us. So the idea at the question at night or whatever, the room was a wreck, like it was a robbery or something, which makes me wonder why Vol would have done that.
Right. That would be stupid.
That would have been the question. Like, unless he made it look like a robbery.
he had to make it look like that. I would assume.
Right, so that he would make it look like a robbery, which they did. I think they did bring up. But so the whole place was messed up. The woman was killed. What was it, like a blunt something to the head or something like that, and everything. So there was and the only person that was in the house other than them was that lady, and she heard like a noise.
The housekeeper.
That's why I thought the housekeeper had something to do with it, but
she had nothing. Yeah. Well, thank
God.
I
thought it was her and Dietrich that somehow they were going to intertwine somehow together, but it only half. Well, Dietrich wasn't really involved in the murder.
Yeah,
it was just to cover up and play out of everything.
Yeah, so we'll get to that.
We got to watch the spoilers.
Yeah, there's lots of spoilers, which at the end they do tell you.
That was great.
They do tell you at the end, please do not go and tell basically no spoilers after the movie or whatever.
Or we'll sue you.
Well, I mean, no.
And the interesting thing is, they said this was based off of a play, or it was based off of short story and different things. So it's like
definitely has a play feel to it.
So it hasn't it already been spoiled to some degree, anyways. If it's already had some sort of public,
if you've seen it,
public forum in some medium.
Yeah, so it's from a story and stage play.
Yeah. So unless they change the ending,
I think they probably did. That's going to be my guess. I would love to read the original play and see if by some chance it wasn't him or it was, whatever happened.
It was Charles Laughton's character in the play.
He did it in a coma while he's in a coma. Like his conscience did it. But so the woman is murdered in her place. And the only suspect that they have is Leonard Vole because of two things. The lady, the housekeeper lady or whatever, the maid, probably said, oh, the last person that was with her was that guy, which was true.
And honestly, I don't even buy the murder part. She's dead. That's all you can really say. This whole thing about, well, we put her time of death at this time based on her temperature.
But Vold he owned it, though, at the end. That he did it.
Well, yeah, but you don't know that until the very last minute.
So
all you can really prove is that there is a death, maybe a suspicious death, but
well, you can tell it was a murder because nobody can clunk themselves on the head.
But you could fall and crack your head open.
So if you fall, you're gonna fall this way and clunk your head.
Well, yeah,
you're not gonna. Unless there's something that fell on your head.
And in reality, you would have things like the angle of the injury suggests that it was a blunt force trauma at this certain angle when it can only be given in its way. They didn't say any of that. They just said blunt force trauma to the back of the head, which you can get from falling.
But I wonder what was the thing that what was it that bonked her on the head? Because they never
talked about that either.
About the murder weapon.
Nope.
And stuff.
I'm just wondering, like from a forensic standpoint, other films of that time and before, the ones that I've seen, I can't remember them going into that level of forensic science that they do, obviously, nowadays.
It's funny because there was a play, and I forget which one it was, but it was based on a true story, and it was this woman who killed this guy, blunt force trauma to the back of the head, and they couldn't figure out what the murder weapon was. And meanwhile, the cops are there, and the woman had asked them to have dinner, and then they realize they're eating this leg of lamb, and they had a frozen leg of lamb, and they ate the evidence that she had used the.
That's really good.
Yes, it really happened. But
that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So that was really cool. But I mean, they didn't introduce that.
He says cool, and I'm like, oh.
So if you take elements of the whether it's the evidence of guilt or innocence, if you take those questions out of it from your perspective, how do you feel about other elements, about how the interaction was between the characters and what was going on with Lawton's background and stuff like that, with him going to the end of his career? How do you think all that was really?
Oh, that was fine. I mean, that's the meat of the movie.
Your problem is more of the logistics of the court case.
Yeah, none of that would have happened. The introduction of Christina Helm without the other side ever being given that opportunity to see that evidence before it's introduced would never happen, would never fly in a court.
And plus, I don't know how it works in England.
It's the same.
No, I'm going to ask the thing, but how is husband-wife confidentiality? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know about that either.
Because isn't a wife not supposed to be a witness or say anything that can incriminate the husband at all? Like, I thought, and so I think if that's true, because they said something about that, that's why they didn't allow Christine to be there, because
they felt
I don't know.
They felt she'd just be dismissed.
That sounds like an old kind of term that it's not really based on reality, because a witness is a witness. It doesn't really matter what their relationship is.
But
because they face a perjury otherwise. Well,
but it's like it's the same thing as a lawyer. Was it a therapist cannot disclose information, patient, client privilege. There's actually marriage privilege. Anything a man and wife say in the confines of their home cannot be questioned. It cannot be brought up. That's an American law.
I'm surprised that's still in the books. I don't see how the relevance.
Yes,
it's used a lot in Law and Order. I know you might be like, oh well, that's not real court, but it is sort of based on real court cases that they bring up and
stuff. That's really shoddy.
Yeah.
How the hell do they allow that to happen?
I don't know, but they're not allowed
ridiculous.
they're not allowed to use a wife as a witness to a husband's murder trial, because
you should bring up Lady Chatlery and see if that's still a thing.
I'll have to do that later.
Because that doesn't sound logical.
Yeah.
A witness is a witness is a witness. You either saw it or you didn't. What the relationship is makes no difference.
But what they say behind, in closed doors, if a person says I did this or I did that, cannot be brought into court. If they catch them doing it,
it just seems like I've seen enough
that seems
movies.
Ridiculous.
It seems like I've seen so many movies in my time, and I can't just think of one off the top of my head that a spouse has been involved in the hearing.
Yeah, and basically because why?
It just seems like it. I can't say 100%. I mean, I'm not a legal scholar by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, what is it based on? Why?
I don't know. It's just a thing that
on the what, sanctity of marriage in a country where it's more than 50% divorce rates. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. It's just a thing. They can't actually talk to the
I mean, this country has a lot of stupid laws that are still on the books.
But this, I mean, I know this isn't exactly the same by any stretch, but I mean, when there's divorces or husbands suing wife or wife suing husband, they have to testify against each other all the time.
Absolutely.
So they're always talking.
But
about
I think
that'd
be different if they're divorcing each other. I think if that's because now they're right at that point they're not. They're
Yeah.
kind of breaching those things, but when they're together, they can say, "Look, you can't hear anything."
This is an opportunity where it would have been fun if we had a lawyer friend that
Yeah.
watch this
Maybe
movie
watch
with
this
us.
one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe we should do like a show where we do lawyer movies.
I can't. I can't do that.
A season of one of your podcasts or something like that
Yeah,
could
it'd
be
be
all
fun.
legal versions, legal movies or whatever.
I'm fine with it if
Legal Eagles.
Yeah,
Legal-
but that's the problem. Is there's already a show called Legal Eagles
was a
where
movie,
they
too.
actually
Yeah.
do. That's what they do, and
Yeah.
I love that guy. I think
Yeah,
he's
but
hilarious.
they don't do it without us. So
No, they don't do our movies, but they do My Cousin Vinny and
Yeah.
and things like that, and Liar Liar and
Has he
movies
done this?
like that. I don't think so.
aha, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe I should ask him.
I think I would have. I think I would be a lot harsher on some of the evidence and different things for the trial if it was more of a present day type film. I'm thinking of it back in time when it was just a different world and it's just a
Yeah,
a
the
different
movies,
thing and stuff like
depending
that.
on most
Yeah.
people not understanding
just-
the law. Or
So
anything.
I assumed just gave goodwill to the element of from the filmmakers, and I know Agatha Christie stuff. It just goes.
Well, yeah, it's,
It goes all which ways and it ends up in the center
it-
somehow.
and they usually have to have some kind of twist in a
Yeah.
Agatha Christie movie. I mean, there's always a twist because it's a murder investigation usually or whatever. Like it's like Clue.
Yeah.
You got to find it at the end and then you got to figure out who it was.
But I like twist, but it's like this one here was almost it was a double twist and stuff like that because it's like yeah they were involved in it, but it was really not just Dietrich and Power. It was the other girl as well, and so it was like they turned around and got Lawton, and then it was like then there was this screw job right at the end. Then on top of that, there was a murder.
Plus, the twist only happens because Charles Lawton allows it to happen. Because instead of compelling this fake witness to come forward and present itself, which would have given the jig up, he allows her to just disappear and give this false evidence. That's why they compel you to do such things, to make sure that you're not, funny about it.
Yeah.
It's just, it breaks a lot of rules.
well, I like the
But when you say it breaks a lot of rules, were those rules completely in place from a viewing standpoint? I was watching movies back then.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It's,
yeah, I'm pretty sure, but who knows? Because
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know the laws of that time or whatever. If things have changed, laws have changed. Things have changed. But it was 1957, so I'm pretty sure things were whatever. I did like the English stuff, like having a banister and having what was the other guys? Like it was a
Solicitor and
solicitor and a
yeah.
banister.
the banister or barrister?
Barrister.
Barrister. Maybe I was thinking of the banister because they had that banister that went
Oh,
up. So barrister. You're
And
right.
that was a cool scene. And to me, I like the scenes outside of the courtroom more than the stuff in the courtroom. Mm-hmm. I mean that stuff at the beginning when he was just the banter between him and the nurse and him trying to retire, him fighting for the cigar and then the lighter or the match and just in the Wilder-esque humor with that I was loving that, and then the whole thing with the chair, and then how it plays off at the end that she rides the chair down. It was like she's completely flipped and on his on the
she's
same
on
page
his.
as him.
Yeah, she's on his
Yeah, so-
side.
I guess so. I mean, to
So
me,
by
it
the
would have
end of
been just. It wouldn't have. The movie wouldn't have existed. But I mean, he could have just said, "You're fired."
Right. Well, no,
Go
the
ahead.
movie would have still existed.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
would have not had her
Go
in
ahead.
it.
Yeah,
But
so I just love those scenes. I mean that's
I love that part where he's like, oh, let me give you a complimentary cigar. And he takes it from the other guy, hands it to the
Don't
cop,
know where he's going
and then he
with
goes, oh no, never mind. It's that might be considered a bribe. Let me earn it. So he takes it himself.
it was a convoluted way of him getting to keep the cigar for himself.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Yeah,
That was like, that's not a way to do it.
He tells the nurse to shut up so many times, and she just takes it. She just takes it.
Well, that's her job. She's
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, she'd been with him for I don't know how long, or whatever. But like, I mean, one of the first lines in the movie is her saying some stuff, and she goes, "I just wish you would just shut your trap." And I'm just like, because she's talking about opening something up, and she's like, "I just want you to shut your trap." And I was just like, "Whoa, this already started off with him being like this." And Paul's all shaking his head. Me and Joe are kind of laughing at this because it just seemed like that thing at that time of year. It's not funny. Like, it's not funny in like the sense of like it would be funny to like I would not laugh at somebody doing it today.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's looking back at a time period where people talk like that, and that's how people acted.
That's why I saw like the Bogart films where Bogart would smack the girl, or more when Cagney really smacked the women and stuff like that.
That's another thing probably Paul hated.
Yeah, because he's like,
definitely
cowardly little piece of shit. He can't do that to a normal guy.
It's wrong then. It's wrong now. It's just at that time, and that's where you get to see movies through a lens of a different time, which makes it kind of cool. So,
I don't know. It has some problems, but I think it all made it up at the end with the twist because you guys did not see that come.
I forgot about it.
You forgot about it.
Mostly because I would not have expected some moron to have left a fucking knife, which is evidence in the trial. It would have been collected.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
And they just let it sit there like it's nothing.
But you guys didn't even notice that was Marlene Dietrich as that lady.
Well, I was looking at her when I was like, she looks weird.
I know, and I kept saying
your
accent is terrible.
Yeah, you kept saying that the accent is terrible. So I think you just kept thinking that woman was just had a terrible accent
who came out of nowhere.
But yeah, and
got that. And that makes sense now because it was like they got the call right before the case was getting ready to get solved. That this new thing comes out and stuff like that. That she calls, so it was an inside job, obviously, by her calling there. So
with the letters, the blue letters, then at the end, at the courtroom scene, the guy's reading the stuff off, and she's like, "That's not my letters. It's not in my handwriting. I have these letters." And he goes, "You talking about these?"
And how could she have gotten that set up?
Yeah.
Well, apparently she did because she said.
But it kind of undermines that aha moment though,
right?
Because he's like, "I tricked you," but Lawton really didn't trick anybody because she knew all along that was because she gave it to him.
And as a matter of fact, if he's supposed to be this brilliant lawyer who never lost, boy, did he, make a fool of himself.
Yeah, he messed.
Yeah.
Like he could have lost, I guess. He even thought he might lose at one point because he thought there was just something.
Well, there was a brilliant line that I thought should have been done where he's like, "You made a mockery of British law," and she should have said, "No, just you."
Just you.
Just you.
That scene there where we just talked about with the letters, that's something that held a really strong climactic turn in the film, but with the double twist at the end. It undermines it's left wanting now.
Yeah, because how could she possibly know that he was going to do that?
Yeah, and then it's like the banter of him screaming for her innocence, leave her alone, and all this stuff. It's like it's almost like you got to watch the film again to know how that's playing because it's like why is he yelling all these things? Maybe it's more incentive to do it now because he's trying to get her off and stuff like that. So. This does require multiple viewing, in my opinion.
And coming from somebody who's seen it recently enough, where I remembered a lot of stuff, like things were starting to come to my head, and I'm
the same guy that confused it with another movie and thought Jimmy Stewart was in it.
Yeah, you were like Jimmy. I was like, Jimmy Stewart.
Like I said, but I did remember the twist ending, and I do remember her, her going. Yeah, Ducky, and all that stuff.
What I didn't remember was me fixating on
Ruta Lee.
Ruta Lee.
Yeah.
The moment she came on, I was fixated on her. Now I remember now. Okay, yeah, there was a reason why. It had been more than 25 years since I'd seen her.
Brunette.
And that's something that obviously Wilder did. And when you have somebody that's important to the movie, you're going to have them stand out as opposed to other people. So the general people that was there outside of the nurse in that spot was everyday looking people. They had a special emphasis on her hair being a little bit bigger.
She was gorgeous. First time you see it.
And a Hollywood look and stuff like that made her stand out. That's why it was like it wasn't just that we're like, oh, she's cute. It's like
my antenna.
There's something that they've put that strategically there to know for us to register her.
Right.
And so she has that thing, and she's she's sitting there, and she did such a good job because she's sitting there. At first, she's next to the nurse. Then later, Paul's like, she moved. They moved her.
It's like this is day 3
And
or 4 or whatever.
She's the reason why he ends up being dead. Because she runs in and does this whole thing in front of her when she could have just waited until he walked out the door.
I know.
Yeah, but we would have never known as an audience there was a double twist in that case. And that's where these double twists...
We would have.
He could have just said it because double indemnity. Ha ha, I screwed you over and there's nothing you can do about it. And he would have walked away alive.
That's another one of his films,
wouldn't have,
Double
because
Indemnity.
she would have been mad and maybe still have tried to kill him. But
she wouldn't have known right then and there.
well, so what he should have done is says, honey, I'll meet you outside.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. I've got to get a couple things done. Snuck out, met with the other girl, and left. And he would have been alive. However, I'm glad they didn't do that because the whole idea is
he
that...
never got his comeuppance.
Yeah, so Charles Lawton is like, well, I'm coming back to prosecute this woman, or whatever, because...
protect, I guess, the defender, but
no,
because we said to defend her.
Was it defender?
Well, it'd have to be defender because the
That's what he
prosecution.
is.
But what is he going to defend? She murdered him in front of witnesses, and she's a
Including
perjurer,
him.
right?
Yeah.
So what exactly is he going to defend?
That is true. But those ideas, he was going to do it again. He's got one more case. Or whatever reason. I will go to Bermuda. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
take those big old...
those ridiculous
shorts.
That
would have been
the curtain shorts.
Yeah, I've been made a fool of publicly. I'm just going to retire now and have my cigars and my brandy when I want to, and a nice beach.
Hey, look, I won the case. I won this guy, even though he actually murdered the person. I did win the case.
And why does he even want to help her, considering that she just made him the biggest laughing stock?
I don't know. I always kept thinking that he was going to prosecute her.
Yeah.
Because
usually the prosecution's the
state
the
other
or
side
country or whatever.
The other side, but the only reason because that's the winnable case is I saw her murder this person.
This is
I
why
win.
I don't think Hitchcock would have done it this way. Hitchcock would have made things a lot cleaner.
There's no way he would have... Oh, well, not talking about Hitchcock. There's no way Lawton could have prosecuted or defended that case, I don't think, because he's an extreme witness to the case. So it's like he would probably have to not be part of it, I would think. But
no, I guess not. I mean, at least they're not in.
Yeah,
but
Hitchcock would have. But I think that's the difference between Wilder and Hitchcock, though. Hitchcock would have the dramatic elements. He would have been tighter on in a courtroom setting. I think Wilder. I think he played some of the biting dialogue and banter.
Yeah,
as more of a priority.
He's more about
it.
The social aspects of it, I think.
Yeah, he had the more, I won't say Hollywood-esque type of feel versus Hitchcock had a little bit different take to it. So
yeah.
So I mean, there's entertainment to be had in watching the film. It's just, if you put a lot of thought behind it, you're gonna find a lot of holes to poke into the story. So it kind of depends.
Which kind of sucks because you usually think of Wilder as pretty well done, pretty, he doesn't mess things up like this. And
I want to see it a second time.
Well, there's a reason why this. I mean, it got nominated, but it didn't win anything, did it?
No, it didn't look like it. It didn't say it. It was just said
Oscar
nominating.
winning.
Yeah, they would have said.
There was some nice cinematography.
Oh, I love the
There
look.
was some great set designs.
I mean, it was well.
And Kino Lorber did a good job with it.
Yeah, it looked beautiful.
Sound was tight.
Really did.
I'm kind of surprised they didn't put it on 4K. They only have it on Blu-ray.
The music was good. It wasn't too much and too saccharine like a lot of these films tend to be, which is nice, or overly dramatic. So
and you said Lawton.
There's good production
he was
behind
up for lead actor for it.
Yeah.
Okay, because he is and on the billing on the front, he's listed third, but he's really the lead.
I was saying earlier to you guys that I think this movie could be remade today. It just would have to be really fixed up or whatever, and there have to be a different twist.
see the Tarantino version of this.
Oh.
See a lot more feet in there.
Oh Lord! Or the Billy Hellfire version.
He did like a Natural Born. Well, he wrote that and didn't direct it. But Natural Born Killers, there was a murder in the stuff that happened in the courtroom. So, there was one in this, but it was just after the court case.
Yeah, I mean, which once again, that was stupid. Like nobody leaves the evidence knife like out. Not even in a bag. You usually put evidence in a bag.
Right, so that you don't touch it and put your fingerprints on it.
Right.
Well, they were handling those letters all around the courtroom. It was just like, here.
They handled the knife the same way.
And then the prosecutor...
Put your thumb on it.
And the prosecution didn't even read it. But they just took this evidence in and just accepted it or didn't fight it.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
There's
what was
a
the
lot
knife
of holes.
for? I'm trying to think. What was the knife for?
That was the knife that they were saying he's cut his...
Oh, cut his hand on.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. Like Kino Lorber did a good job. They even has some special features on here. There's an audio commentary by film historian Joseph McBride, who's the author of Billy Wilder Dancing on the Edge. So that should be fun. And a conversation with Billy Wilder and Volker Schlondorf discussing witness for the prosecution.
Schlongdorf.
Schlondorf, not Schlongdorf, but Schlondorf. And theatrical trailer. So it's got a couple cool things. I always like Kino Lorber doing commentaries. We watched...
yeah, they did a good job.
We did The Warlord for Film Freaks, and I had to clean... This was back when we were at the old studio. I was doing some work on my... DVD case and everything, and I was putting more in or fixing it up or whatever. So Paul was like, "I'll just put on commentary." It was not a good commentary though. It was the guy was
all right.
The guy was pretty knowledgeable, but the problem was
he didn't seem to really.
He went off on like things that had nothing to do with the movie and stuff like that. And so I've noticed that with a lot of people. Like Kino needs to be careful with some of the...
The problem was that just about everybody involved in that film is no longer around.
Yeah. So who are you going to get, to talk
And
about?
unfortunately, a number of these people we were looking at right before passed soon around.
But not Ruta Lee.
Tyrone Powers died.
He had an uncredited role in Solomon Sheba, which came out like after that. I don't know this for certain, but he probably was cast as the main role, and he maybe... I don't know when he died. He had a heart attack. He only 44 years old.
I don't know how that happens.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, people died a lot younger back then.
Well, that was about the same time that Bogart passed.
Remember that
his was cancer though.
That one lady, the lady that got murdered, was supposedly 56 years old.
I know. Right?
I was like, she's not 56 years old. That lady was like 80.
Right.
Like, there's no way that lady was like,
that big, giant, ugly hat.
Oh God.
You like those hats, don't you?
I hate them. I hate them. We were watching him with Andre. We watched this Bermuda or whatever. Permuto movie. This woman had this awful hat that had like
fake grapes on it.
Fake grapes and carrots and other freaking... It was vegetables and fruits. And I was just like, why do people wear that? That's just awful.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But just looking, because I was curious on what's up for Best Picture that year.
Yeah.
And it didn't win. The one that won Best Picture was Bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the winner.
The interesting thing, though, is another courtroom film was up for Best Picture and didn't win. 12 Angry Men.
12 Angry Men. 12 Angry Men is a better film.
And that's Billy Wilder. No, that's not Billy Wilder. He did... No, he was the director was Sidney Lumet.
Oh, that's right.
William Friedkin did the sequel or whatever. Not a sequel, but the remake.
The other two was Peyton Place and Sayonara.
Yeah, 12 Angry Men as a courtroom movie, I think is a much better film. It's a much more serious film.
We did that with Liz. We did that with Liz. You, me, and Liz on my birthday last year. That was good. I really liked that one. It's not. Yeah, this is not that great of a courtroom movie, but that was all about jurors.
Yeah, that's a lot more serious and grounded in reality. This is a little bit more of a fantasy film. This is more of an Agatha Christie fluffy.
I think that this is more Hollywood-esque versus 12 Angry Men is more.
It's more mainstream,
intricate, like detail driven, and I think this would have been the more. I don't know which one did more at the box office, but this probably, in normal circumstances, I think probably would have been the more popular box office.
Well,
But-
the thing about 12 Angry Men that I
That's
liked
12 Angry Men
is
is
that
great.
it's dissecting who the people of the jury are
Mm-hmm.
and how that impacts a courtroom and all the intricacies that play behind
Yeah.
who gives you the ultimate, thing of if someone's guilty or not. If somebody's life depends on these people and how they interact, which to me is a much more interesting concept than
Especially
did he really
when you
do it,
get
did he not?
12 different guys together
In a
all-
pressure situation.
all who have different personalities and they all clash, But it really should have been called 12 Angry White Men because
Yeah.
wasn't it just all white guys?
And
in that movie?
that's well, no, I think there was the token Hispanic guy in there too.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But and that's the other thing too is it's also a product of its time because you're right. There's no people of color. There's no women.
Yeah.
So
If they did it today, there would be more people
Yeah.
of color. If they did this today, I swear to God, it could be done. It's just you have to change it where there's more evidence for the person and it'd be harder for because in a
I
way,
think that's just tweaking though
What-
a little bit. It's not. I don't
what's-
think that'd be that hard.
what's the male equivalent of a Mary Sue? Because that would be what Charles Lawton is.
a
So-
chatty Chad. I don't know.
Yeah, because isn't that what he
Yeah.
is? He's sort of like the male equivalent of Mary Sue. Everything
Except he
works out.
fails.
No, he doesn't fail. He won. He won the case. It just turned out that his client was actually guilty, but he did everything to the best of his ability, and he won. And there was no no point was I going, okay, this guy's not gonna win, right, and everything. So
Well, that would have been a nice twist.
if he lost,
Yeah.
if they said, oh, he's guilty, that would have
And
been. a
the
good
other thing
twist.
too, I think that the other thing that hampers it a little bit, I think, is that they really wanted to play up the Agatha Christie end of it, which is why I think it's all set in England. Because otherwise, why would Billy Wilder make a movie with an American star, and not have it set in America? Why would you not do that? You know what I mean?
It was definitely a British thing.
And I think it's because they wanted to keep it closer to the Agatha Christie material.
Which would be interesting to read.
Well, I was just looking on the IMDb. It's number 64, I think, like on the rating scale. So I was like,
Nice.
seems like it's pretty well received by the masses. But
I know people are not going to like our
yeah,
review.
yeah. It's like but I
I'm
think
willing to bet it's mostly older folks who are rating that. I'm thinking if you look at people who are, say, 40 years and younger, I think are going to have a much different score. I'm willing to bet.
Well, that's part of the way we're watching stuff now. I don't know if watching this then I might have felt. Would you have seen it totally different if you were a product of that time? And that's where it's interesting. So, but I don't know. I think that like I said earlier, I like the stuff outside of the courtroom even more than the stuff in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So I think that's just, to me, that's what made it even better. And then Wilder went from this to, Some Like It Hot. So he was nailing some stuff right at that time period.
He was
and then,
hot.
And then the apartment. Then the apartment was soon after that and all that. So
Yeah, he's a
Sunset
great.
Boulevard was before that. So
Yeah, no, he is a wonderful director. Done so many good freaking movies. But this was not my favorite. This would probably be closer to The Lost Weekend, where we rewatched it, and I was like, this has problems in it and everything, and I remember liking it a lot, just like I remember liking this, but I started realizing there is a lot of issues with the movie.
And this is most likely why I watched this 25, 30 years ago and haven't really seen it since.
Well, there's probably things you might have. Well, no, I don't. I just think it's not one of those movies that's talked about much, and that's the main reason I picked this was because when I was looking up what could I bring tomorrow, I was like, what could I bring? And I have three. Well, I had two others in my backpack just in case we decided not to do this one.
Yeah, we gotta befriend a lawyer and run some of these films past them just to get their view. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm personally glad you did pick this because it's something I hadn't seen, and
It's something you hadn't seen.
It's something I hadn't seen, and it's something that
I guarantee-
I think I have a little bit higher regard for it than you do. You guys do.
It's no
But-
Gula Go-Go, but
I guarantee you the
Yeah,
other.
It's close.
How
It's close. It's almost as good.
So, the other two I'll show you afterwards.
Okay.
I guarantee you haven't seen them either. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong.
And I got some films for film freaks coming up. You probably want to check out because there's some really good ones. I've been holding on to them.
We've been trying to get more stuff for that.
I'm gonna own this film. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, I don't know.
Would buy it from Kino because Kino, does a great job. Like, look at a
Yeah, I mean, I have to
special
look.
features
And
other
yeah, what
stuff.
are the special features?
Just read them earlier.
I forgot.
Okay. There's a commentary by film historian Joseph McBride,
Okay.
the author of Billy Wilder, Dancing on the Edge. Billy Wilder and Volker Schlondorf discuss a witness for the prosecution.
And who is Volker Schlondorf?
I have no idea. Just some guy that's interviewing, chatting with him about it. I guess he doesn't. I don't think he worked on it.
I'll try to type the name in. It'll probably come up all crazy.
Volker
I'm afraid of what you'd come up with if you put in Volker Schlondorf.
Schlondorf.
Go to a German, sketchy Russian porn site.
He's looking on IMDb, so I don't think that's going to be that.
No, I'm just. I'll try.
Volker. It's Volker.
I have the first name spelled right, but reception's not the best in here, so
Yeah.
it might come up. But
All right. Anyway, I think that's about it. I mean, there really isn't much more else to talk about. We talked about all the characters and all the things that happened in the movie, pretty much. I really liked Charles Lawton in it. I thought he did a great job. Tyrone Powers annoyed the crap out of me, even though I'd seen it, just because he just kept yelling, "No, no!"
Yeah.
But then when you see the ending, you're like, "Oh, he's doing that on purpose,"
Yeah.
to throw everybody
Even
off.
so, he's really overselling it.
I think it's not.
Charles Lawton's always fun.
I think another thing that I think this is a good fit into the film freaks, and even though it's not met to the same high regard as some of your other ones that you've talked about on here, it's good that presenting something that's well received by apparently most of the masses, but does have some polarizing elements to it.
And that's why this is Film Freaks and not Criterion Watch. Criterion Watch are the ones we talk about that we think are of the best, and that's why they're in Criterion.
I mean, they are voted as the best by Criterion.
Yeah,
but you asked me before, you were like, I'm surprised Kino did this and not Criterion. So maybe this just wasn't Criterion level to them.
Whereas Film Freaks is more movies that we love personally.
I will do Anatomy of a Murder, the Jimmy Stewart one, and that's also a different courtroom drama, murder drama. So maybe it'll have a similar feeling on it. Maybe we'll get a lawyer. I don't know.
That'd be fun.
I know a couple, but I don't know if they'd be interested in coming on a show and talking, like on a video.
Like Pretty Young Chick Lawyer. We need one of them. Come on the show.
If you know any.
We had one at our old place, remember?
Yeah, but she didn't even come in. Well, she was pretty impressed by her place.
She was.
But she never, you never asked her to come on the show.
I never really saw her much,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
You ready? Volker Schlondorf.
Schlondorf.
He's still alive. He's almost 90. He's a German film director, screenwriter, and producer who has worked in Germany, France, and the U.S. He is a prominent member of the new German cinema of the late 60s and early 70s.
Okay.
He received an Oscar as well as a Palme d'Or at the 79 film Cannes for The Tin Drum.
Oh, he did The Tin Drum! Wow! Now there's a good movie. That's a depressing film, but it's really good.
Hearing him talk about this could be interesting.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe he's a fan or something. And this was the movie he liked of Billy Wilder.
Have you seen Tin Drum?
No.
Oh, that's a
Is that a Film Freaks?
That's a Film Freaks, yeah.
Okay, well, maybe someday. But anyway, guys, we're really happy that you guys got a chance to check this out and tell us, tell us what you think. Do you think we're wrong? Do you think that Paul is wrong? Paul
I can be. It happens.
Do you think, all that stuff? Please.
Am I wrong?
Are
you wrong?
I'm definitely wrong a lot.
That's what's great about
I
these
thought it
films
was
is,
Jimmy Stewart in this movie. I'm definitely wrong.
Yeah, that was a little
Because
it would have been a totally different film with him in it.
But if you watch both those movies, they're very similar, and it'll make you go, wait a minute, I think I've seen this, kind of thing before. So.
Yeah, I bet Jimmy Stewart's acting is a little different, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying it would be a totally different film.
Yep.
With him,
Oh yeah.
with him sitting in the box and seeing his mannerisms versus Powers. Oh, that would be totally
Yeah,
different.
the Tom Hanks before he was Tom Hanks.
Well, he's the lawyer, so he'd be like the Charles Lawton in there. He's the lawyer in it. He's not the person on the.
Oh, and the other one.
He's the in Anatomy of Murder. Yeah, but would he have been a good Tyrone Powers character? I don't know.
I wouldn't have. Lawton did so well. I don't think I would.
No, but I'm trying to think. Like, would he have been a good Tyrone Powers in that? And I don't think so. I don't think I would have liked seeing Jimmy Stewart yelling like that.
This
Maybe
type
we
of
should
film-
do 12 Happy Men where they're sitting around eating cookies. That'd be a fun movie.
12 Hangry Men. You know.
Nobody's done that!
12 Angry Men.
They're all angry until the food comes. Now they're all happy.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, everybody.
He's guilty! Oh, no, he's all right.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. We will be back next month, I hope, with a new episode of Film Freaks. We'll also be doing some more Criterion watches coming up, so and things like that. So please join us for more. And we'll definitely have Joe back because he loves to coming back here for these because, you know, he has to stay for the stinky ones, then he gets the good one.
It's
kind
infinitely better than some of those 9s that we've been seeing on IFC.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, I'll come and stick around.
And now
for
the
this
Dolphins aren't playing, so you don't have to worry about that.
one. Yes.
They stopped playing months ago.
Well, you still kept watching.
And you can say, and you can say that year round. Unfortunately, it's always been they stopped. But anyways, still my team. Anyway.
All right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
And don't